Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Our next two weather makers. First, we transition to a wetter pattern. We're going to see overnight thunderstorms that could be strong to severe, and then it's going to feel more comfortable for the holiday weekend.
Less money for schools. Today, Wake County is considering changing the requirements for high schools to receive Title I funds. The schools that would lose that federal money under this plan.
And preparing the ice. The Canes will face off against the Panthers tonight at the Lenovo Center. Everything you need to know about the Eastern Conference Final ahead of puck drop. Exciting times for the Canes. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday morning, and we are watching a beautiful sunrise. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making this part of your routine here. You get the NHL's version of the Final Four. Now, everybody wants to be them. It's so close, we can taste it now. It starts tonight. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with something else that starts tonight for us.
Yes, it did. Tonight, we're going to see a wave of thunderstorms that comes through. It's going to be really early tomorrow morning. You can see where the front is right now. Lots and lots of severe thunderstorm warnings and even some tornado warnings with the system overnight. And so that moves on in. We're going to kick things off at around 8 or 9 o'clock this evening, where we'll have some cloud cover and maybe an isolated shower, quick sprinkle. But then we have the cold front that will push in, and ahead of it, we'll have a line of thunderstorms. Starting at around 4, this is going to be 5 to 5:30 right through the middle of the viewing area, and then between 7 and 8 it starts to move off to the east. Within this band of thunderstorms, we'll see heavy rain, definitely some lightning and thunder, the potential for some strong winds and some hail. This morning it's nice and quiet though. It looks beautiful in Franklinton this morning, feels comfortable. Our dew point just dropped into the 40s. 62 is our current temperature. Our hour by hour forecast keeps us quiet today, but we'll see increasing clouds with a high this afternoon of 82. We're going to talk a bit more about the big holiday weekend coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:01, we just have one crash to report right now. This is in Wendell, right near Selma Road and Idlewood Lane. This is not far from Wendell Boulevard, in the residential area, not causing any delays for you right now. But if that's part of your morning commute in terms of that neighborhood, just know you see some police activity out there. Elsewhere, all our major routes are relatively delay-free. So let's head outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard, flowing nicely in all directions. You're getting ready to head out the door, though. We got you covered. News, weather, and traffic at all times. 101.5 HD3.
New this morning, several people were hurt in 2 crashes in Johnston County. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there on this scene, Big Pine Road. This was around midnight. Several people were taken to the hospital, including 2 children. State Highway Patrol says the driver failed to yield at that intersection with Barber Mill Road, and that's what caused the first crash. And then a third car came along and crashed into them when the driver said they didn't see that crash on the dark road. Troopers say charges are expected.
Breaking news. Just after midnight, Zebulon fire crews responded to a garage fire. This happened in a neighborhood on Lacewing Drive, just off Highway 96. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows a charred workbench inside. Police say no one was hurt. Now, the fire did not spread to nearby homes. We're working to learn the cause of the fire and extent of the damage.
Under a new plan, some Wake County high schools will get less money. Today, the school system is considering changing the rules for who gets federal Title I funds. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the Wake County Schools headquarters this morning. And Kelsey, 6 schools will be affected by this, dropped from that program under these new requirements.
Yes, Jeff, we're pressing Wake school leaders for answers this morning. A committee will meet here at the school district headquarters later today to consider cuts to Title I funding. 6 high schools would be affected by this: East Wake, Knightdale, Phillips, South Garner, Southeast Raleigh, and the SCORE Academy. Title I is a federal program that offers extra support for schools that serve more lower income students. Here are some of the questions we've asked the school district. Why are they considering this change? What would be the potential impact? And how are these schools using Title I funding right now? We're planning to get answers to those questions at today's meeting. The district wants to require 75% of a high school student body to meet Title I requirements. That's up from the 50% requirement that stands right now. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how some schools wouldn't make the cut.
they wouldn't have enough students meeting federal poverty thresholds. So that means they have Medicaid or temporary assistance for needy families. Wake County wants to increase the percentage of students you have to meet to qualify for that at the high school level.
You can follow our coverage on this today in the education section of WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, Ivan Carey.
And Wake School's new cell phone policy is up for a vote tonight. Under the policy, students' cell phones must be silenced and put away, and smartwatches must be in airplane mode. There would be some exceptions, such as during an emergency. Cell phones could be confiscated, in some cases until a parent picks it up after school. A lot of how this policy is carried out will still be up to principals. The policy needs to be voted on twice, and the board could choose to do both votes tonight. You can follow our coverage on the education section of WRAL.com.
In just a few hours at 9:30 this morning, state employees could learn how much more money they'll have to pay for health insurance. Leaders of the state health plan meet this morning to go over new pricing options for the state health plan. It's a big deal. It serves 750,000 state employees, retirees, and their families here in North Carolina. Starting next year, the state is expected to start charging some employees more than others for health care, depending on how much they earn. Stay tuned on WRAL today as we expect to find out more about these new costs for state workers and their families. Watch our evening newscasts from 4 to 7:30 tonight. Happening today, closing arguments begin in the trial of a man accused of killing a Home Depot employee in Hillsborough. Terry McMillan of Durham is accused of pushing 82-year-old Gary Razor to the ground at the Home Depot in October of 2022. Police say McMillan was stealing a pressure washer. Razor broke several bones in the fall and died a month later because of complications from his injuries. Police charged McMillan with first-degree murder and robbery.
Massive flames raced through this home near Garner. Sky 5 captured the magnitude of the destruction in the Eagle Ridge Gulf community yesterday. Smoke spread to nearby homes and spilled over into communities as far as Cary. Volunteers with American Red Cross are helping the 3 people who lived in that house.
In Durham County, commissioners are making a plan on how to spend your tax dollars. Today, they have a work session on that budget, and you can share your thoughts on items you believe they should prioritize. You can do it online now or at their meeting next week. Board Chair Nida Alam says that this is an opportunity to have your voice heard and make an impact on the way your community is shaped.
Also in Durham County, people will gather today in support of expanding HEART. HEART is a program in the city of Durham that sends unarmed crisis responders to some emergency calls. The group will bring their concerns and a petition to today's Sheriff Town Hall meeting. It will be held at the Ruritan Club in Bahama at 7 this evening.
Big changes could be coming to the area around Moore Square in Raleigh. A work session this morning at 11:30 will go over the area's redevelopment plan before City Council then holds its regular meeting at 1 p.m. Loden Development plans to build stores, a boutique hotel, and several units of affordable housing. But concerns over the project's budgets for the city and developer exist because Raleigh's city manager is going to present this budget during that regular meeting this afternoon.
The Canes will play Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final tonight here in Raleigh. They will take on the Florida Panthers. WRAL's Laura Levine is live inside Lenovo Center ahead of tonight's big game on center ice. Laura, we are counting down until the puck drops.
Renee, good morning. Right now, I am in the eye of the hurricane as the Carolina Hurricanes are skating closer and closer to that Stanley Cup win. Tonight, they have home ice advantage, and they're hoping when it's all said and done, they'll be the last one standing. I want you to take a look at some of this video from yesterday when the team were here back at home practicing for the big game. Now, the Hurricanes will face the Florida Panthers, who defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-1 in Game 7 of their second-round series on Sunday. For 7 seasons, Coach Rod Brindamore has preached a game based on paying really close attention to the finer details in their plays. He says that's what sets them apart. Brindamore shares how he's keeping the team motivated during this run.
They've had a lot of, almost, and I think they're them to just constantly believe in what we're doing and keep pushing. I mean, that's the whole key, and that's all you can do.
keep pushing. That is the name of the game. Meanwhile, the puck drops here on the ice tonight at 8 p.m. And then game 2 will also take place here at the Lenovo Center on Thursday. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And starting today, a Wake County intersection will be closed for 2 weeks. The intersection of Mild Plantation and Major Slade roads will close at 9 a.m. It's not expected to reopen until the evening of June 3rd. This closure is part of a project to realign that intersection.
Covering Fayetteville, today you're invited to attend a panel discussion about supporting veterans and military families. Cardinal and Pine is hosting the event. Veterans, advocates, and policy experts plan to talk about several issues, including the impact of the Trump administration's cost-cutting efforts on the VA. The panel will be held at Studio 215 in Fayetteville. It gets started at 5 p.m.
Today starts the first of many Wake Schools graduation ceremonies. Wake STEM early college seniors will walk the stage at the Martin Marietta Center this evening. They will have the first of the May graduations. A live stream of that graduation will be available on YouTube for family who can't make it to the event. It starts at 6 p.m. and graduations will run there today through Thursday, and then June graduations will be held at the Raleigh Convention Center.
6:10 now. Congresswoman arrested. New Jersey Representative LaMonica McIver is facing assault charges. The incident at an ICE protest that led to those charges.
Plus, tornadoes in Oklahoma as severe weather hit that state, bringing high winds and much more trouble ahead the moment lightning struck that police car.
And we'll see that potential for severe storms overnight tonight. Around 3 or 4 a.m. is when we'll start to see the biggest chance as a line comes through. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast coming up.
And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers: 13, 14, 37, 50, and 60. The Powerball is 11 and the Power Play is 2.
Deborah and I came up through the ranks together at WRAL, and it's been such a privilege and an honor to be her colleague and also to be her friend. I can't wait to see what the next chapter holds. She is going to be missed.
Deborah, from being a little Steven emailing you asking for your advice on my stories to eventually becoming a coworker of yours behind the scenes, the integrity and dedication you've shown in every story that you've told in your career has motivated me and shaped me into the journalist that I am today. You're going to be sorely missed behind the anchor desk, but I can't wait to hear of all the adventures you and Scott get to go on now. Best of luck to you.
6:14, and it is going to be another warm day. It's nice and comfortable out there this morning. Our temperatures are starting off in the low to mid 60s. We have some sunshine, and you're going to be tempted to head out to do some tailgating before the Canes game tonight, and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be absolutely fine. We'll probably end up with a bit more cloud cover by 5, 6 o'clock, but it should stay fairly dry. We've got a 20% chance on just to kind of cover the bases, but I feel like we'll, for the most part, to be fairly dry. Now, starting around 10 or 11, we may have some showers or thunderstorms, but of course that will be after the game. We do have a level 1 risk, but it's not really for the day today. It's really for early tomorrow morning. So we're going to kick off with a chance of some showers and thunderstorms at about 3 or 4 a.m., and that will continue until around 7 or 8. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now, the WRAL Traffic Center. We've got a couple of issues brewing on the northern loop of the Beltline. We're talking about there's a crash on Lake Boone Trail right near the Beltline, those eastbound lanes. Also, we get reports of a crash blocking the road on I-440 eastbound right near Wade Avenue. Right now, we're not seeing any delays in that particular area, but just watch for some police activity if that northern loop of the Beltline is part of your morning commute. You're getting ready to head out the door, though. Traffic is constantly changing. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver is facing a federal assault charge. The charge comes after an incident in her home state of New Jersey. The Department of Homeland Security claims McIver body slammed an ICE official during a protest outside the facility. She denies that claim, saying she doesn't even know how to body slam a person. In response to the charges against her, McIver says they are purely political and meant to deter legislative oversight.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Taiwan's president says that trade tensions between the U.S. and Taiwan are just frictions between friends. That's what he said this morning in his speech there. President Trump did impose 32% tariffs on all imports from Taiwan last month. Those were lowered to 10% for 90 days to allow for trade negotiations. But officials from both sides spoke last month. They will again in the coming weeks. Taiwan's president said the U.S. and Taiwan have long cooperated and also encouraged each other to grow. There are bound to be frictions between friends, but they can eventually be reconciled.
Severe weather hit Oklahoma, bringing intense wind and storms. This is video of those powerful storms here. You can see those RVs wobbling, almost getting tipped over by that wind. At least 2 tornadoes were confirmed in that state. The storms left damage and thousands of people without power.
And in Newcastle, Oklahoma, lightning struck a police car. Wow. Newcastle Emergency Management posted this video showing the moment a lightning bolt struck the parked police car. Fortunately, there was no one inside the car at the time, and no one was hurt.
Governor Josh Stein is asking for nearly $1 billion more in his budget for Hurricane Helene relief. The governor's request comes as state lawmakers in Raleigh are negotiating a new budget. The state has already spent $1.6 billion on Helene aid. In an announcement yesterday in Western North Carolina, Stein asked for $890 million more in their budget proposal. House Republicans suggested $700 million.
Universal's new theme park, Epic Universe, opens to the public on Thursday, and the Today Show team is headed to Orlando to broadcast all 4 hours live tomorrow from the new park. Before he hopped on a plane, Craig Melvin talked with me about the upcoming Epic adventure. Craig, hello, great to see you. What an assignment.
Renee, good to see you again as well. You're right. I mean, we haven't taken the show on the road like this in 4 years. All 4 hours from the same location, Epic Universe, for the opening, the grand opening of the first major theme park in this country in 25 years. So we like to travel for history. So we're pretty excited for this little family field trip.
They are pumped. Today is giving you an all-access pass to this state-of-the-art theme park. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for today's live 4-hour remote inside Epic Universe. And again on Thursday morning when the 3rd hour broadcasts from the city of Orlando.
And tomorrow morning, right at that time, we could be having a little bit of dicey weather here, so we'll just live vicariously through them in Orlando. Elizabeth Gardner, meantime, in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. It looks gorgeous out there right now for us.
It's really pretty. It feels so good. You know how it felt yesterday? It was hot in the afternoon, but really nice and cool in the morning. Our dew point is low. Humidity is nice and low. So pretty. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all with sunshine this morning. Chapel Hill, of course, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. It's a little breezier than it was yesterday. In some places, our winds are around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not terribly gusty, but steady. Still coming out of the north, but that will change over the next 24 hours. Our severe storm threat for today and tomorrow is a level 1 risk. Level 1 means that just a few cells that pop up could produce some severe weather. And in this case, the best chance of severe storms is going to be the potential for some wind damage, some hail, isolated tornadoes. Now, this system definitely has a history. Those orange shaded areas are where we have severe thunderstorm watches. We've had a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings along that line as it marches eastward. But what we see here won't be nearly as widespread. For example, you can see this big level 3 area across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and the deep south. But for us, it's a level 1 risk. That means our potential is much less. We'll see fewer storms and the intensity won't be as great. And I say tonight, it's really going to be in the wee hours of tomorrow morning, starting at around 3 or 4 a.m. And so it kind of transitions into Wednesday as well. And Wednesday afternoon, there's also a small chance for storms, but it looks like the biggest event will happen early in the morning. This is a look at lunchtime today. We'll see increasing clouds. We'll see a little bit of isolated shower activity this evening. Most of us will stay nice and dry. But once we get to around 3 or 4 a.m., we start to see this line marching across the area, and that's when we can have the best chance of some severe storms. Again, wind damage and hail would be the biggest threats that we'll end up seeing. We take a look at going forward. So with nighttime storms, a lot of times they're very loud because of the heat that's just above the surface. It reflects it back down. So it is likely to be a pretty loud night for for us, of course. And we take a look at our 7-day forecast going forward, looking at temperatures for today in the low 80s. Tomorrow's going to be a fairly hot day, but we get into the holiday weekend and it looks nice and dry with much cooler temperatures, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening now in the last 10 minutes. I told you about that crash on I-440 eastbound near Wade Avenue, that the crash was blocking part of the road. Right now, we're seeing the delays really beginning to pick up in that section. I would recommend avoiding that section of the Beltline right now. Just use local roads to get to where you're going in that vicinity. There's also another crash on I-440 eastbound near Lake Boone Trail. That's not causing any delays right now, but I'll keep an eye on that. But elsewhere, all the other major routes are delay-free at this hour.
Advocating for educators. Durham educators will meet with the school superintendent today. The concerns they are bringing to improve life in the classroom.
And it's National Dog Adoption Day. The Wake County Animal Center is offering lower adoption fees today. The new rules at the center after a recent dog bite.
And ahead on today, renowned actor and humanitarian Gary Sinise will speak out for the first time about his late son, Mac, the emotional story and the ways his family is keeping Mac's legacy alive.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The Cannes Film Festival is underway.
Season 2 of The Pit is coming to cable as well. Ken Smith here now with What's Trending, Ken.
Jeff and Renee, the streamer once again known as HBO Max, announcing it's bringing The Pit to cable. The medical drama starring ER alum Noah Wiley is organized so that the 15-episode series is modeled after a real-time hour of the character's shift.
First season came out in January 2025. Next season comes out January, coming up in 26.
How cool is that? Well, Denzel Washington's first ever trip to the Cannes Film Festival in France was a memorable one. The festival's director surprised the iconic actor with the honorary Lifetime Achievement Award.
And Denzel was there for the premiere of his latest film with Spike Lee called Highest to Lowest. That will hit theaters in August. Denzel does not age. He still looks great at 70 and still making movies.
That's awesome. Ken, thanks. Elizabeth.
All right, tracking this next system, you can see it's really created some severe storms back to our west, headed in our direction. We will see it late tonight into early tomorrow morning. I'll show you the timeline in just a bit.
Cell phone ban. A vote tonight will determine phone rules for Wake County classrooms, the exceptions that would be included in this new policy.
And a garage fire as crews work to put this out in Zebulon. In this home, you look at the scene right here. We'll tell you where we can see the charred inside of that home.